Bluey! Oh dear Lord, I can't even remember my own I can't even remember my own podcast song intro because one of my kids is sick home today, so of course she's binge watching Bluey in the background while I record this podcast. So, mamas out there, if you have not experienced the wonders that is Bluey yet, I highly recommend that experience. It really is a phenomenal show. It's a cartoon created here in Australia, but it's massively popular all around the world, and it's just adorable. And the theme song is highly catching. So, I wanted to have a little update with you all today about my kids being back in school. Oh my god. You know, my kids started school after 2 months of holidays, and that was like last week, and I totally had a different expectation of how the week would go. I totally expected that my kids would be back to school for the first time in 2 months, and I would be free to be a creative whirlwind magicking up a storm in my studio because I'd have time and energy and brain space. And in reality, I felt completely zonked by the transition. One of my kids has needed a lot of emotional support to help her ease back into school routine. And I'm also already regretting my life choices to live a 25-minute drive from the school instead of just being around the corner. I love being out here on the acreage, and 25 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but if you do it 4 times a day, it becomes a lot. And, you know, just the idea of a routine totally harsh as my mellow. I just like being squirreled away at home, living my best hermit life, only occasionally emerging to cause a glorious riot and then go home again. And the house feels really quiet and still and odd when the children aren't there. I mean, apart from, you know, when they're at home because they're sick and watching Bluey. And it kind of felt weird and jarring not to be interrupted constantly. That's really funny, right? Anyway, that first week back to school just felt like a complete assault on my senses, and I've been acutely aware of how quickly my sweet ASD self gets depleted by the outside world. So I went back to leaning heavily on my ASD coping mechanisms and tools, especially my weighted blanket. Medication is absolutely a necessary constant for me. And I also restocked for Lotus Way and Naughty Naturopath Mum remedies, which are really useful as well. I'm also going to start looking at noise cancelling headphones, purely just to fucking experience some silence when I need it. My ears feel like they've been pounding with all of the stimulation, and I can definitely feel myself getting flappy around them. Other coping strategies I've been using: listening to the same comfort music over and over, like James Taylor and Olivia Newton-John's Grace and Gratitude album, making sure I'm getting 10 hours of sleep each night just to help my brain digest all of the input, having solo time, and journaling, and my husband reminding me to lower my expectations on myself and go gently. I had 2 ideas for things that I wanted to completed by the end of January, which was a longer marketing e-course and a shorter masterclass on burnout. And I don't think either of them is going to be finished, and that feels hard and annoying. I just want to finish the things. I want to make so many fucking things. But I need to remember that I did take most of this month as a holiday, and it was glorious. And I can't really take a month-long holiday and expect to have magically created something in a single sneeze either. I totally feel like my brain just doesn't understand how time works. I so wanted the first week back at school to be a home run of productivity and creative accomplishment, and for that first shiny new week to be perfect and to start me on the path to success this year. I've been wanting to make so many changes this year, and now I haven't started it off perfectly. There's a part of me that feels petulant and despondent, like, well, I might as well give up now and go back to my old ways. Sigh. It's really funny, right? Anyway, I didn't realize I'd been holding such high expectations for the first week back at school. And I might need to instead just take a deep breathe and just be kinder to myself and open to the reality instead. And maybe note for next time that the transition of going back into school routine is sometimes just going to be really tough for my kids and for my autistic self. That it's enough just to get through it, and even better if I can do it with some level of grace and tenderness. Anyway, I've got so much to write to you about and podcast to you about and share about, and maybe I can just start with that a little bit by little bit. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you're here in this world. And if you would like to get my daily-ish writings and musings in your inbox and join my little secret squirrel club of pen pals, you can head on over to leoniedawson.com/daily. There's nearly 1,000 people now that are getting them, and that feels so exciting and so beautiful. All right, my kid's here. She wants cuddles. I love you all. I hope you have a beautiful day. Let's make our miracles happen. Sometimes we won't make them happen, and that's okay too. All right, bye.